Testing, testing. 1, 2, 3. Testing, testing. 1, 2, 3. All right, everything seems to be working. Yeah, I am just fixing my hair in the camera. Don't judge me. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Kingdom of Rizia. I'm Mixed Gray, and honestly, you know what? Let's just jump into this. Sorry the stream schedule has been so absolutely inconsistent. It's been really hectic around here, but I'm happy to be back. Hopefully there'll be a consistent stream schedule published soon. I just got to get some stuff in order. I'll be right back. Almost forgot my water. That could have sucked in the middle of stream not being able to talk anymore. But without further ado, let's jump back into this. Okay, what have we got? So, right, we got a trade deal with Morella. We gave up a fair bit for that, but I think that'll be really, really good for us in the long term. We're still working on the support vehicle factory. I think our odds of getting the international community on our side for the dispute, the land dispute, will go pretty well. Rizia and Morella, relations improve. Excellent. Source tourists to be returned. Right. We sent them back after source tourists assaulted one of our citizens. Venus officially confirmed. Oh, yes. Vina Torres and Mantis Sesam. Okay, that's actually a cute ship name. Which color will the king paint his boat? Oh, yes, we're deciding to restore the boat because we need more authority really badly. Oh, right. There's an important thing. Where is it? We want to reform the... Yes, electoral reform. So this requires 6 authority. I really would like to do this, but I think authority is going to be a pretty big issue. For that reason alone, I don't think it's going to be likely we're going to be able to pull it off. But we'll have to see. Maybe we can have the opportunity to get some more. But as it stands, after this turn, we'll only have about 6. Diplomacy or injustice. The Blanker dilemma. Right, yeah. Deal proves Sultana has influence. I guess so. Election campaigning comes to an end. Okay. I think this should complete this turn. That'd be good. Well, I guess let's do this. Do I want this on or off? Yeah, I'll take it off. Might put it back on if it gets too cold. Alright, let's do this. Let's see. Millions of regions head to the polls, right? And I don't have the authority to do the reform, unfortunately. Citizens, today's your chance to vote for change. Yeah, I am pretty nervous. I really would like to get more authority and do the reform, but it's just not in the... This gives me +1 budget per turn? I had no idea. Oh, right. We never did increase education funding. That, I meant to do that a long time ago, but I didn't have the authority. Or the money. It was the money. Um, hmm. Yeah, I don't know. Oh, it's done. Full trade dators support vehicle production starts. Awesome. What else? Okay, wait. Let's just take a look at this. Public transportation on-time performance downgraded. Millennialist workers strike Hall City. That's not great. And global media campaign proposal. Okay, so none of these are actual events. These are just, well, let's see. Excuse me. I'm still recovering from a cold. I'm not sick anymore, thankfully, but I'm not exactly feeling great, which is why I haven't been streaming, unfortunately. Let's see. Our public transportation system is facing a severe decline in on-time performance, with quality stagnating across rail, land, and sea services. Certain lines have ceased operation due to organizational challenges, causing inconvenience and dissatisfaction among the populace. We have missed the train. Our infrastructure will stand the test of time in the future. Yeah, I'm optimistic. We can fix this. Oh. Oh, wait, yeah, this is just from overcrowded public transportation. Yeah, that's really bad. I'm not happy about that. Trains somehow got even later. Yeah, this maybe allowing the free media wasn't the best idea in this case. Millennialist worker strike halt city. In Argno, the workers across all industries have laid down their tools in solidarity, demanding improvement of working conditions for everyone, regardless of profession or industry. Factory gates remain shut, and the streets are eerily empty as picket lines set up across the town have crippled industry and logistics. We can disperse them, which gives us one authority. Ooh. Now I'm wishing I saw the Karut one first. I'm going to promise better protections for workers. This is a reform I'd like anyway, and I don't think I'm going to get another authority to pull off the election reform. So yeah. Decree available. Let's take it up. Would it be under welfare? Yeah, here we go. 2 authority, 3 budget, 2 budget per turn. Oh god, that's expensive. Jeez. Ugh. I'll get back to that. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna be able to get the election reform. Strike leaders talk of union. A strike organized by millennialist workers has brought the city to a standstill, and after authorities seemingly allowed the strike to proceed, its leaders are talking about establishing a proper trade union, modeled after foreign examples. That would be Vagsland. And, oh, that's me. Global media campaign proposal. Orchestrating media influence to the world from Karut. Oh. The kingdom faces a strategic opportunity to enhance its global standing through a significant media campaign centering Constantium Karut. Known for being a hub of diplomatic activity and international lobbying, the initiative aims to positively transform Rizia's international perception, leveraging its location amidst the world embassies and influential lobbies. International perception. I don't think our image is necessarily great right now. However, I am relatively comfortable just keeping it as it is. I don't think our international image is bad. Put it that way. But also this is expensive and we don't have the money. So Yeah, our image is sufficient. What the hell is going on? Vendonisum requests expeditionary force in civil war. The Confederacy now requests more direct military involvement from its Grace allies. The kingdom must decide whether to escalate its involvement by deploying troops. Sending a full division represents significant commitment and could decisively tip the scales, but it also risks greater entanglement in the conflict. Alternatively, a volunteer brigade offers support without full-scale intervention. However, choosing not to send forces could weaken Vendonisum's position and our influence in Grace. I don't care about Vendonisum's position, really, but our influence in Grace, losing influence could have consequences. Actually, I'm okay with weakening our support with Grace, because we're getting more support from the region. Yeah, honestly, I'm withholding it. Grace nations commit to support. Our alliance stands firmly with our allies in the time of need, reflecting our commitment to our principles. Yeah. Actually, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. Is there anything we can do to get more budget? Four authority, 1 budget per turn. 4 authority, 3 budget. Ooh. This would help with the rail crisis. We also never did increase health and education funding. And now we also have, what is it? Wait, where is it? It's under welfare, I think. Oh, wait, can we sell... Do we have any of the vehicles? We do have a military ship. Right, because, Vagzalin sent us battleships. I remember now. Ooh, 2 authority? Oh, wow, those submarines are worth a lot. Man, this sucks. This really sucks. We don't have much for anything. Workers' rights for all industry. I do like this one, but it's gonna cost a lot. Okay. Let's meet with the Royal Council and see where we go from there. Vina and I walked to the council chambers. Our councilors were already seated and waiting for us. As Titus closed the door behind us, the council members all stood up and bowed in respect. Good day, everybody. I hope there's nothing too crazy to worry about today. The councilors made an effort to laugh at my comment. Your Majesty, Your Highness, before we begin in earnest, we must acknowledge the results of the recent House of Delegates election. Yeah, sorry about not doing anything. He had a dour look on his face. In a historic first for our kingdom, the Regent People's Party won the majority of seats. By unanimous votes, Manus Sazan was named House Speaker. Wonderful. Vina made no effort to hide her joy. This shows the public is hungry for a change in our kingdom's direction. We should listen to what they have to say. Should we? His expression turned quizzical. I wouldn't be surprised if House Sazan had a hand in manipulating the voting results. With some aid from the so-called free press, of course. And I am not certain the votes of the foreigners who flocked to the polls should even be counted as legitimate. Give the new delegates a chance, Your Grace. Their ideas could invigorate all of Rizia. If they don't destroy it first. In other news, he gestured at Elena. Miss Werner has some important reports to share about our current energy situation. I'll let her speak. Thank you, Your Grace. I'll start with an overview of our energy situation. Luckily, we're still producing enough energy to meet our demands and stay above the balance. She placed a stack of papers on the table. Based on our current deals and promises, including our projected energy production, we'll be able to meet the demands of our industries if our current projects succeed. Do you have any suggestions on how to improve our energy situation? One suggestion I have is to conduct mining surveys to find new resources. This could help our budget and trade. Good idea. One suggestion I have is to sign plans for the Abbas coal mine project. It can provide a little relief for our energy industry. Ugh, excuse me. Like I said, still sick. Apart from that, there is also the Aureus gas field, of course. I believe Mr. Escobar has some news to share about that. Lorenzo nodded. What's the current projection for our future energy production? Fortunately, at the moment, our energy demands aren't being met. Fantastic. But unfortunately, we don't have any ongoing projects or deals that will result in more energy output. Our negotiations with Sorlin about the Gaslam deal also fell flat. The new shortage president decided not to allow us to invest, so there's no projected income from there. Oh, so we're in that time. Okay. Since there are no active projects, our prediction is that our energy output will stay stagnant in the future. Excuse me. There is, of course, the disputed Aureus gas field. The predicted gas output from that field is of immense value. But with our current situation, we won't be able to reap much benefits. Is the predicted gas output from Aureus enough to support our energy demands? Even half of what that field would grant us immense relief from our energy woes. But we can get into details of that in a second. I believe Mr. Escobar has some news from the AN. Do you have any other questions, Your Majesty? Thank you, Miss Werner. I have enough information. Of course, Your Majesty. She bowed in respect. We also have some news from Mr. Escobar regarding Palais and the Aureus gas field. Your Majesty, result from the AN arbitration committee has just come in. Please. The vote's outcome was influenced by a number of nations. Prime Minister Alma Sultana of Morella used her legal background to make a convincing argument on our behalf. Wonderful. Yorga Asma of Dirgia stated the field belonged to us by divine right. I'll take it. In the wake of our country's new agreement, Velen was very supportive of our claim. Queen Beatrice made a personal appearance at the AN to plead our case. Chancellor Egil of Vagsland made an especially heartfelt plea to uphold the original interpretation of Andor without mentioning Rizia by name. Support for Palais came mostly from Lesbia and other ATO nations, of course. Overall, we gained just enough international sympathy to overcome ATO's clout with the AN and have an edge in the proceedings. Very fortunately, the arbitration committee rejected Palais' argument about Kalakabiz not having the same maritime radius as mainland Rizia, acknowledging our right to the Aureus gas field. They ruled that both Palais and Rizia are subject to the same international maritime laws and that the overlap in maritime borders gives both countries equal rights to the field. Yes! Fuck yes, we did it! Okay, that's a weight off my shoulders. Positive and interesting news indeed. I honestly didn't expect Old Man Hagel to go that far and aid us in the committee resolution. I don't think he was aiding us, Your Majesty. The current maritime laws work in Vagsland's favor. The large number of islands in the Markian Sea provide them with an enormous exclusive economic zone. Good point. That is correct. Agreeing with the Polynesian interpretation would have opened the discussion for the re-evaluation of the Valgish maritime borders as well. Excuse me. Regardless, it's great that it worked in our favor. Indeed. So, the AN agreed that the Polynesian extraction was unlawful? That is correct. They ruled that Palais didn't have a right to exploit the resources on their own without Regia's cooperation. As a result, they agreed to divide the gas field in half, granting both of our countries an equal share. Thank you for your hard work, Mr. Escobar. Your contributions in our diplomatic efforts deserve credit for the result. Thank you, Your Majesty. It's an honor to hear that from you. Let's hope that Duke Reinhardt has now learned his place. Regardless, I'm pleased with the outcome for now. That settles it, then. If there are no other comments on this topic, we can move on. I believe it's time to wrap this up. Everyone stood up and bowed. Vienna and I stood up and left the chambers. Father, do you believe in proper cooperation with the Polynesians? I'd like to believe so, Vina. Me too. And I'm willing to do my part in achieving cooperation if I'm ever needed. I know you do, Vina. Thank you. All right. We walk together to the royal quarters of the palace. Okay. I'm pretty happy about this. This is going all right. Oops, sorry. Had to catch up the stream again. Not bad at all. Regent People's Party takes the win and orders Rizia to share gas field. Perfect. Wait, what? Orders Rizia to... What do you mean orders us? We haven't done anything. Okay, whatever. RPP claims majority, democracy triumphs, and provides path to cooperation. Lovely, lovely. Dispute gas fields should be shared and rules. Good. Very, very good. Karuk congratulates Rizia on successful elections. Thank you. Morel extends solidarity to RPP. Thank you. Anton Rain congratulates RPP. Emphasizes that both his USP and Regent Party and the Regent Party share the aim of democratizing their respective countries. Great. Support from the Sword's Prime Minister. That's good. Or President, I mean. The alignment of the 6 stars. Additional costs on royal yacht restoration. Ugh. The restoration of the monarchy's grand yacht, a symbol of national pride since 1901, comes with unforeseen expenses. The decision now is whether to pay additional costs and source timber either from Velen or through other means. This choice has budget implications and will influence the future of this historic vessel. I don't like either of these, to be honest. Yeah, sure, we'll pay the additional costs. I don't honestly have a reason. I just don't want to scrap it, given how far we've come. Oh, no. Oh, that's weird. Sorry, 1 second. Something going on with the stream. Okay, so YouTube is saying it's not receiving enough information, but the stream seems to be perfectly okay. Okay, yeah, everything looks fine to me. If something's going on and anyone's watching, Oh, there we go. Back to normal. Okay, cool. All right, we continue on. King's latest vanity project, draining treasury. Sorry. Yeah, I kind of don't feel great about that. We could do a geological survey. That would be good. We're not doing stimulus checks. Maybe this could be a good idea? Yeah, maybe we should have scrapped the boat. Yeah, we're even... From RPP leading house. Damn it. Okay, we're really tight on authority. This is a problem. This is a really big problem. Alright. The alignment of the 6 stars. The Port Drazon Observatory Tower stood tall against the night sky, stars twinkling overhead, as my motorcade arrived beneath it. However, it now functioned more as a museum than as a site for astronomical observations due to the city's light pollution. It served as a relic of Rizia's bygone era when the night sky's wonders were more easily unveiled. I'd come to meet with Grand Wiseman Ignatius for the alignment of the 6 stars, a rare celestial event that occurred every 200 years and was celebrated by virtuous worldwide. The alignment is sure to be impressive from that vantage point. Titus nodded towards the top of the tower. I can only imagine the perspective I'll have from above, witnessing the grand astronomical convergence laid out before me. Breathtaking, I'm sure. They say that God is never closer to us than he is during the alignment. Perhaps he will grace you with his enlightenment. Before long, Titus and I vacated our vehicle, entered the building, and ascended the spiraling staircase. We eventually reached the top, and I was nearly out of breath, whereas Titus seemed to breathe through it without breaking a sweat. 2 guards greeted us at the door, one of whom opened it. I stepped inside while Titus remained behind. The dimly lit room carried the scent of aged books and burning incense, while candles cast a soft glow. Sal was hunched over an altar adorned with astrological charts and religious artifacts. Excuse me. Seemingly unaware of my presence. As I watched him, I thought about what Titus had told me regarding his possible role in my father's death. He was no longer under investigation, but the question of why he was with my father so frequently still hung in the air. I've been looking forward to this visit. He looked up as if startled. Forgive my oversight, Your Majesty. I didn't realize you had entered. I've been immersed in arrangements for tonight's holiest of events. No harm, no foul. The wise man's face lit up with a gracious smile. Well, I'm delighted you're here. An exhilarating event awaits you. It's remarkable that we're about to witness the same celestial alignment St. Frugic beheld so many years ago. You're acquainted with the story, aren't you? Yes, I've been preparing myself for weeks to genuinely appreciate the awe-inspiring spectacle of this celestial alignment. That pleases me to hear it. As we celebrate tonight's event, I'd be honored to retell the story. I've heard it before, but a retelling would be welcome. Splendid. Sal cleared his throat and began to pace around the room. In the tenets of Rugicism, there unfolds a celestial saga, the alignment of the 6 stars. Imagine Saint Frugic, our venerable faith's architect, embarking on a sacred sojourn into the cosmic vastness. Guided by the divine insight, Saint Frugic witnessed the cosmic ballet, grasping the profound significance of this alignment. With spiritual brilliance, he condensed the 11 pillars into 6, aligning them with the celestial bodies, now recognized as planets. Didn't the library of St. Frugic and Lacaven play a crucial role in this transformation? Very good, Your Majesty. You do know your history. The library, a nexus of knowledge and celestial observation, became the space where St. Frugic communed with the cosmos. St. Frugic perceived the alignment as a symbol of spiritual evolution, a journey towards a more harmonious interconnectedness of the cosmic and godly realms. Each aligned planet embodying a pillar became a torch, illuminating simplified teachings and a testament to the divine perspectives within Frugicism. Frugicism. The alignment of the 6 stars acts as a celestial guide, directing the faithful on their journey to enlightenment. And that's what we are here to bear witness to tonight. I must say, you're quite the orator. Your recounting was truly stirring. Sal nodded appreciatively. If you'll follow me to the balcony, we can continue our discussion while bearing witness to tonight's event. I stepped into the cool evening air alongside him. Port Drazon sprawled beneath, its lights flickering like stars of the night. However, when I gazed upward, there were no stars to be seen, nothing but clouds blanketing the sky. It seems the heavens have other plans in mind. Patience. Their intentions may unfold in due time. The cosmos has a language of its own. Tonight, it speaks of destiny and the intertwining of fates. One I look forward to hearing from myself. Speaking of which, how do the people of Rizia interpret the cosmic language? It occupies a distinctive corner in their hearts, as diverse as the stars that grace the night sky, as for their overall prevailing sentiments. The Vergest community seems to have a neutral opinion on your reign. The fact that the Ark Sanctuary of Plavo continues to deteriorate has not sat well with them. With that said, your commitment to raising living standards for commoners has been highly appreciated by all religious groups, Ruhejists included. That pleases me to hear. Now, as for the Desnorists, they harbor no negative feelings towards you, yet they haven't developed notably strong positive impressions either. Your refusal to fund the Grand Sanctuary they requested in Salabay has notably diminished your Majesty's likability in their community. They perceive it as a symbolic representation of the decline and neglect of their religious heritage within our kingdom. As a community composed primarily of Vegeks and Rumburgians, they appreciate the strides you've made in improving rights for foreigners. Sometimes difficult decisions must be made for the greater good, even if they impact personal likability. Difficult decisions indeed. As for the Golcondas community, it goes without saying that the blasphemy law continues to strain relations, but your decision to allow Dirgian pilgrims to cross into the country from Morella was met with widespread praise. And your generous accommodation of the pilgrims illegally occupying the Plavo Oak Sanctuary was seen in a good light. By Golcondas, I myself had my doubts about it. Overall, while you're not on the Golcondas' bad side, you're not on their good side either. To be honest, you should do more to feed into their fervor. You should not do more to feed into their fervor. Their radical beliefs, especially those of Dirgian Golcondas, are incompatible with the Regent way of life. I'd like to speak more about Dirgia. They are the one neighbor with whom I haven't had any diplomatic interactions, and a talk with Supreme Wiseman Asmal is long overdue. I'll do my best to fill you in, Your Majesty. It goes without saying that the Dirgians' commitment to Golcondism permeates every aspect of their daily life, an integral part of their cultural identity. It goes without saying that the Dirgians' commitment to Golcondism permeates every aspect of their daily life, an integral part of their cultural identity. Excuse me. Ruheshism is Ruheshism. I still don't see why their particular sect should be treated so differently. Pay a visit to Dirgia, Your Majesty. You will see what I mean. If you seek diplomatic relations with the Dirgians, you must acknowledge that their legal systems and religious doctrine are deeply intertwined, especially concerning our bans on Golcondas worship and homosexuality. The Dirgians' perspective on this differs significantly, to put it mildly. Our values guide our kingdom. While compromise may be necessary, let's make sure it doesn't overshadow the principles we hold dear. Absolutely, Your Majesty. It's crucial for maintaining the integrity of our kingdom. Nevertheless, I simply want to improve our diplomatic relations in any shape or form. Of course, a united front with our neighbor, despite our religious differences, is more resilient against external challenges. You did not give in to Vejek pressure to ban Dirdians from our borders. I believe you've left the door open for future negotiations with their Supreme Wiseman. I hope so. We still don't have assurances that it will foster better relations or lead to a beneficial collaboration. Yes, but keeping channels open is a diplomatic necessity. It goes without saying that the last thing we need is another adversary on our doorstep. We all desire peace and harmony, but realism dictates we must resort to force if needed. Oh, wait. Yeah, it still leaves me deeply conflicted. That's okay. As it should, Your Majesty, no man of God makes use of violence without it weighing heavily on his conscience. Silence settled between us. Your Majesty, if I might speak candidly, I've noticed shifts during your reign, particularly in matters related to the role of religion. While I believe you have the kingdom's best interests at heart, I worry that these changes might inadvertently erode the sanctity and devotion traditionally linked with our one true faith. I must confess, I took the failure to repair the Ark Sanctuary Plavo following our visit rather personally. Simply put, I feel that your priorities as king are not as aligned with our kingdom's richest roots as they should be. I urge you not to underestimate the power of our cherished religious traditions and to reconsider the role of Rougesism in government. Prioritizing earthly laws over celestial ones may be imperative to achieving unity. Are you proposing a change to a time-honored religious order that has remained steadfast for centuries? I intend to evolve our religious traditions thoughtfully, ensuring they remain meaningful and unifying for all. Idealistic. However, the practicality of achieving such an endeavor is rife with challenges, but not impossible. While I'm unapologetically partial to reach as a Rougesist state, I will concede that there is more than one approach that should be considered. Those being? Well, for starters, maintaining Rija's Rougesist roots to preserve the status quo. Alternatively, we could embrace a pluralist faith-based state, recognizing the diversity of beliefs in our realm. With both Rougesism and Desnerism at the helm, I'd imagine. Lastly, I can't believe I'm saying this. You could separate religion from government entirely. Taking a secular approach would allow each citizen the freedom to navigate their faith independently. All of which, bear in mind, come with specific drawbacks and advantages. As difficult as it may be, can you paint a picture of what a secular state might look like? In a secular state, the governance would operate independently of religious influence. Policies and decisions would be based on law, absent of the influence of the specific religious doctrine. It would potentially promote inclusivity by ensuring equal treatment for citizens of all faiths and those with none. Thank you. Now tell me what you really think. It's my belief that embracing a secular state risks diluting the cultural and moral fabric that Rougesism has woven into our kingdom. Straying from this path risks dishonoring our heritage and sacrifices our forefathers brought to uphold. It's not just a religion, it's a reflection of our identity, a link to our past. I value our kingdom's history, but prioritize progress and citizens' rights. A secular government may provide the needed solution. You've given me a lot to think about. It seems the path I choose for Rija's religious future could shape our kingdom profoundly. This is why removing religious influence from government may be the best choice, though it could provoke significant backlash. Calling it a significant backlash would be an understatement. It could spark dissent and upheaval throughout the kingdom. I continued looking over the city as the echoes of Sal's counsel reverberated in my mind. I knew any path I chose regarding Risha's religious future carried the risk of creating a backlash, if I chose to change anything at all. As the questions consumed my thoughts, the heavens seemed to respond. The thick clouds that veiled the sky suddenly dispersed, revealing the fabled alignment. 6 planets shone above us in a perfect arc, each brighter than the last. Before the city hushed as onlookers collectively witnessed the extraordinary phenomenon. My God, It's even more breathtaking than I could have ever imagined. A divine spectacle indeed. Sal was too enthralled with the spectacle to hear me. The 6 tenets of Ruheshism, Your Majesty, each of them a guiding beacon in the darkness, shedding light on our past and the days to come. I remember the visions Sal foretold during the consecration and the king's ceremony. Fractured crowns, soldiers in war, the lovers, swarms of birds and 3-headed monsters. Now I how St. Frujek felt all those years ago. Sal looked at me tenderly. Your Majesty, I must know. After all of our talk, what are your thoughts on our kingdom's religious governance? This is a hard decision, but... Okay, well, morally, I lean towards a secular government because, like, I don't think religion should have a place in government. I think everybody should have the right to their own religion. As for this, I think keeping Rizia as a religious state would be the best option, but I think going with a secular pass would be better for... I mean, obviously, it'll create a big backlash, but I think it'll open up our relations rather significantly with other countries, allowing different faiths, different beliefs, allowing more cooperation between countries. Even if no particular religion will like us very much, all of them can be included. That's the way I'm looking at it right now. Choosing a secular path would liberate our kingdom from religious influence, fostering a true communal enlightenment. An uncomfortable silence settled between us. Even the knight seemed powerless to conceal his anger. I'm sorry to say that I cannot endorse this point of view. It would risk severing the ties that bind us culturally and spiritually. And you are coming dangerously close to unite using the language of millennialism. Taking such an approach is essential to ensure a government that respects all beliefs and promotes unity. I believe that would instead sow divisions rather than bring our society closer. I have no desire to contradict you, Your Majesty. My allegiance remains steadfastly with the crown, as it always has been. I simply believe that alternative paths would better preserve the spiritual integrity of our realm. I hear your plea, and will certainly take your words into consideration. Thank you, Your Majesty. As always, I am here to serve. It's been a pleasure speaking to you on this momentous occasion. I'm honored we could witness it together. Sal and I said our goodbyes before we parted ways. As I stepped out of the room, Titus greeted me with a brief bow. Hope everything went as expected, sir. Oh yes, the alignment was quite a sight to behold. You'll see. After descending the observation tower and stepping outside with Titus, I was again greeted by the celestial phenomenon above. Titus momentarily stopped in his tracks to gaze overhead. It was then I realized that this was his first time seeing it. This is astonishing. I've never seen anything like it before. Yes, one could get lost in its display. Lost, but in the best possible way. After absorbing the spectacle for a final moment, Titus directed me to the waiting motorcade, and I continued my journey back to the palace. I do hope you are moved as much as I was. Indeed, the alignment of the 6 stars has not only graced us with its ethereal beauty, but illuminated the path I am to embark upon. As we headed back to the palace, Titus and I discussed destiny and the intricate workings of fate as guided by the stars above. Ooh. This is really significant. I don't have enough authority. Yeah, I don't know. We have to get more authority, but I don't have any way to do it. This is really difficult. Right, she's no longer the head. Manasazan is. Anti-Planetary Society's Million Man March ends in comic failure. Okay. Oh, I didn't realize. Cause trade war. Arcadia fires the M4 ICBM. Oh boy. Oh, right, the trade war. Yeah, I got a trade war in my Swordland playthrough. It was bad. The major naval confrontation between United Contana and Arcadia at the Gulf of Rica caused a global trade disruption. The Gulf where half of the global trade flows through is blocked. Following the event, Arcadia imposed considerable tariffs on the CSP goods, which triggered a temporary trade embargo on all Arcadian goods from the CSP. The massive financial impact was felt all around the world. This has led to a rise in global energy prices and have increased our energy export incomes. Lovely, that's really good. Nice to see a silver lining. The powers that be need to cool down. Well, that's very nice for us. I wonder if there's any way to take advantage. Hang on. Would this make it worth more to sell energy? 3 budget. 1 budget. 2 budget. I can't tell. Yeah, I can't tell. Funding religious charities. Ugh. In the Rizia Kingdom, faith plays a vital role in the lives of many citizens. The crown can support religious charities. The choices include backing a Rujist, Brahejist, Golkondist, or Desnorist charity. Excuse me. Each with its own unique doctrines and influence within Rizia society. Alternatively, the government could opt to refrain from funding any religious organizations, remaining a stance of a more secular governance. I'm just bleeding authority. I don't know what to do. If any of these that I choose will piss a lot of people off. Funding all could be good, but that's really expensive. No, I don't. Damn it. So I guess that's the idea behind changing the religion to Nurity, to basically allow all these different sects under one banner. Or alternatively, going for a secular decision. Yeah, I think going with a more secular governance is the best choice here. Even though I can't lose more authority. Yeah, fun none. I'm also inclined to just go for the workers' rights proposal, even though it's expensive, like really expensive. Or health and education funding. Hmm. Wait a minute. What about... Is there any decrees related to the gas field? No, this is something different. Hmm. I guess not. Hmm. Moving the blasphemy law could be good. Okay. You know what? I'm gonna bite the bullet here. Yeah, this will reduce my budget, or budget per turn rather. But actually, I'll make that decision at the end. Yeah, I'll get back to that later. Oh god, this sucks. Lucida and I just concluded our visit to the Terrador Air Force Base. Sorry, I'm loosening my choker a little bit. There we go. There we go. Okay. Lucida and I just concluded our visit to Terrador Air Force Base. Amid the whirlwind of activity, we barely got a chance to speak to each other. On the way back to the motorcade, she asked me to accompany her downtown. The city sustained heavy damage when Rizia reconquered it in 1920s. Attempts had been made to revitalize it, but several bombed-out derelict buildings still stood in its center. She ordered her driver to stop in front of the tallest one. It was completely boarded up, and the remains of a fire escape dangled precariously from the 5th story. In the dimming light of the setting sun, I could just make out an old mural painted outside, an angular 1920s-style depiction of the Pagliacci, defaced almost beyond recognition. Where are you taking me, Duchess Cesaro? Patience, Your Majesty. She instructed my bodyguard to wait in the car and led me up to the entrance. Drawing a key from her pocket, she unlocked the door. Flickering lights illuminated the building's decrepit interior. We walked across the uneven concrete floor, stepping around shards of glass until we came to an elevator shaft guarded by a man in a crisp blue jacket. I noticed a brooch on his lapel, shaped like a pair of swords. He and Lucida exchanged nods, and he led us into the elevator. We ascended to what must have been the very top floor. The elevator door opened, and we stepped out. Immediately, the atmosphere transformed. We were in a chic-looking lounge, its furnishings sleek and understated. The soft strains of jazz filled the air. A handful of patrons were sitting around sipping cocktails. They paid us no mind as we crossed the room to a cozy private booth by the window. Where are we? My family bought this building when Rizia took back the Palais Administrative District. We've been using it as a members' club of sorts. She smiled conspiratorially. You looked like you could use a break from the iron jaw down there. Iron Jaw? His old boxing nickname. Didn't you follow his career before he joined the Golden Guard? Iron Jaw, that's a cool nickname. A bow-tied server approached our booth to take our orders. I'll take a Parisian sunset. Lucida nodded approvingly. Sounds good. I'll have the same. The server bowed and left to fetch our drinks. While we were waiting, Lucida gestured out the window. Beyond the twinkling lights of downtown Terrador, a line of steadily flashing beacons marked the border wall between Rizia and Palais. There it is, our new business partner. Maybe it won't take a war for Palais to reunite Rizia. We can find an economic solution. Her brow furrowed. I still think avoiding conflict with Palais was the correct strategy. Of course, not everyone in Rizia feels the same way. Making unpopular decisions is part and parcel of being king. I've learned not to let it affect me. I hate to say it, but too many unpopular decisions will affect you. Just then, the server returned with our drinks. He carefully placed our Palladian sunsets on the table. They were garnished with tiny umbrellas. We took our beverages and raised them. Aproso. She looked me in the eye as her glasses clinked. To good health. Still holding my gaze, she took a slow, reflective sip. I wanted to tell you something while we were here. My house has begun to complain to me about the way you've been running the country. The Zeros are turning against me? That's not good. You understand, then. I've heard rumors of your plans to change the region government. They won't make it off the ground without my family's support. I've tried to justify your actions to the others, but there's only so much I can explain away. Even discounting the opinion of those who believe the Palais gas dispute should have ended in an annexation. The fact that you have invested so little in the region military is proof, to some, that you don't take House Cesaro's concerns seriously. Simply put, Your Majesty, my family likes order. So there are some who see a rather relaxed attitude towards our kingdom's national security as a direct affront. And they are worried that the public's declining opinion of you may result in instability on a mass scale. What about you, Duchess? Do you share that criticism? She thought for a moment, then spoke in a measured tone. As a counselor, I'm duty-bound to support my king. But as your confidant, I hope I'm allowed to hold you to account. You should know that my father is beginning to make a recovery. If he resumes his position on the Royal Council, I fear he'll not be as gentle with his feedback. While Downstar on the council, he'll be more of a hindrance than a help. Even incapacitated, he's one of the sharpest minds in the country. His Majesty Valero told me he trusted General Tadius with his life. Treat our house well, and he'll be your fiercest protector. Remind me, when did you last speak to my father? Tragically enough, on the day he died. I was at the palace for an interview with Hugo. Your father signed the order for me to become interim war counselor. Truth be told, we barely conversed. He was clearly preoccupied with other matters. She shook her head. It's impudent of me to be blathering on like this. You haven't even touched your drink yet. Yeah, I'll take a sip. I reached for the glass on the table and took a sip. It was a smooth, tangy mix of dark rum and orange blossom water with a squeeze of pomegranate syrup. I'm going to regret ordering this tomorrow. She smirked. No looking back, Your Majesty, only forward. I hope you know that buying me a drink doesn't entitle you or any other Azaro to special favors from me. But that's a bit harsh. It's not what I wanted. Who says I'm buying? She laughed and quickly assumed a more solemn expression. I'm grateful for the audience with you, Your Majesty. You aren't obligated to act on anything I've said. We finished our drinks as the city lights twinkled below us. Once we were done, we rejoined Titus to begin the trip back to the Air Force Base. King visits Air Force Base. Oh, good. Okay. Official signing of the Aureus Agreement. That's good. Let's do this. For the second time since my coronation, our convoy drove steadily across the cobbled streets of the hometown Palais. Excuse me. The city was familiar to me now, but the atmosphere is far more welcoming than it had been before. I was here to sign our deal with Duke Reinhardt, as resolved by the AN. After today, Rizia would own 50% of the Aureus gas field. I want to applaud you again, Your Majesty. This was a tense situation, and I believe Rizia made the best of it. So do I, Mr. Escobar. Your advice and assistance was invaluable, as usual. Much obliged. Upon our arrival to Castle Reinhardt, we were greeted by the smiling faces of the Polynesian and Lesbian delegation, as well as Duke Reinhardt, who waited at the front gates. After exchanging pleasantries, we were led inside. The light of the camera flashes nearly blinded us. Inside, we were greeted by the Lesbian Prime Minister Alvarez and representatives from Lei's Power. It's good to see you, Your Majesty. Lesbian Lei Power are incredibly pleased that your nations have reached a mutual understanding. Indeed, I'm happy we managed to see through the nefarious forces trying to set us against each other. The smile dropped from his face. We took our seats around a large table along with the delegates from each country's Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Welcome back, Your Majesty. It's a delight to have you with us once again. Today is not just about signing a deal. It's about laying the foundation for cooperation and mutual benefit between Palais and Rizia. It's a pleasure to be here under such promising circumstances. This deal will mark a new chapter for both of our countries. I must also thank our partners in the region delegation. They were instrumental in working out all the legal particulars. The delegates bowed their heads. We'll finalize the official details right now. Everything that happens afterwards is just for show. So, he gestures at the assistants in the room. They quickly place enormous files on the table. Both Rizia and Palais accept the Alliance of Nations resolution. Ownership of the Aureus gas field will be divided evenly between our countries. Region Oil and Gas will control the rights of the region half of the field, while Lesbia will share control over the Polynesian half. Extraction and transportation of that half of the field will be carried out by our state corporation, Les Power. Les Power, I think. The assistants placed all the necessary papers in front of us to sign. Sign the papers. After me, the documents were also passed to Prime Minister Alvarez. As soon as he finished signing, the room broke into a lengthy round of applause. To our future partners. To the extraordinary opportunities Aureus will bring. After exchanging congratulations, we were led outside into the courtyard, where a stage had been set up for the ceremony. Sorry, my nose is still clogged. As we stepped onto the stage, the applause of the crowds blended with the loud music from the speakers and the clicks of the camera shutters, overwhelming me for a few seconds. We stood in front of a massive board with an illustrated map of the Antasian Sea. depicting the Aureus gas field as a bridge connecting Palais, Rizia, and Lesbia. The stage itself was an outlandish construct, dominated by a towering replica of a drilling rig with a huge logo of Lay Power on it. Made to look like a sophisticated machine with oversized dials, levers, and flashing lights, it was less a piece of industrial equipment and more of a prop from a science fiction movie. Lorento leaned in and whispered, "I certainly didn't expect this." What on earth have they done? It seems the Palladians went above and beyond for the ceremony. He pointed at a mock rig surrounding the stage. There were a series of artificial geysers engineered to spout water and colored lights at timed intervals, stimulating the dramatic discovery of natural gas. The geysers were choreographed to erupt in unison with the crescendo of the music. Organizing this must have cost as much as the drilling facility itself. As the music came to an end and the applause subsided, I took a closer look at the crowd that was gathered. Politicians, journalists, and energy executives in their best formal attire were standing somewhat awkwardly amidst this bizarre setting. They cast amused glances at the entertainers who mingled among them, performers dressed as engineers and geologists, complete with exaggeratedly large yellow helmets. Prime Minister Alvarez then took the microphone and started explaining the importance of Aureus and the deal that had been finalized. After a brief introduction, he gave the microphone to Duke Reinhardt. The Palladian leaders made his own brief speech before turning towards me. And I by His Majesty King Romus of Rizia. I took the microphone amidst the applause. Ladies, gentlemen, dear friends, I would like to thank Duke Reinhardt for inviting us to attend this grand ceremony. We are here to celebrate a truly significant event, a testament to our country's unbreakable bonds and ever-growing ambition. I am honored to announce the official agreement between our countries. This project has many benefits, not only for our people and our country, but also for our neighbors and the region as a whole. I think highlighting our alliance here is good. I must point out that we live in a volatile region, with conflicts over resources, ideology, and religion brewing on all fronts. Let Rizia and Palais serve as an example to all those around us. Before I finish, I would like to highlight the importance of Palladian region friendship to southern Mokopa. Sorry, I'm getting a bit cold. The Kingdom of Rizia sees the people of Palais as our brothers and sisters. Let today be a step towards unity between us. As a closing word, I would like to thank everyone who has worked so hard on the design and construction of the drilling facility, the engineers and builders, as well as the employees of all the contractors involved. Glorious Axa Rizia, Axa Palais. The crowd roared with applause. I gave the microphone back to Duke Reinhardt. He shook my hand and gestured for Prime Minister Alvarez to join us. As the main event approached, a gigantic faux control panel was wheeled onto the stage. The panel, festooned with blinking lights and oversized buttons, was set for the ceremonial activation of the gas field. Duke Reinhardt, Prime Minister Alvarez, and I were guided towards the panel. We placed our hands on it, posing for the cameras as we did so. With a dramatic countdown, Reinhardt, Alvarez, and I each pressed one of the buttons on the panel. There was a series of industrial sounds as the mock rig came to life. The music swelled and the geysers went off in unison, enveloping the area in a colorful mist. After a few more minutes of picture taking, we left the stage. In the car, I glanced over at the PAR Aureus plaque, a celebratory gift from the Region Oil and Gas Corporation, sitting snugly on the seat next to me. I couldn't help but feel relieved we were finally out of Palais. Let's take a look. Aureus gas field extractions, excellent. Medium extraction from Aureus gas field. Oh, wow. Wow, +3 per turn. That's really nice. Trade deal with Palais. Great. Great, this is really good. Okay, you know what? With the gas field now operational, I think I'm going to do the right workers' rights protection. Since we're going to be having more money coming in through the sale of the extra energy, which is really nice, I think it's a good time to get our popularity up. So, yeah. Workers' Protection Act. King signs decree put forward by RPP. By cooperating with the RPP, the government has ensured widespread support for the new measures. It shows the King's commitment to a well-treated worker, something that is surely to be commended. RPP enforces workers' rights. The Region People's Party has once again demonstrated its unwavering commitment to improving the rights of the worker, putting forward a decree protecting workers' rights, and getting the King to sign the widely popular measure. All right. I think we're in an okay spot. Though, yeah, now we have no authority, so... Yeah, not great. Not great. Well, I guess we'll see what comes next. Sovereign Memorial Commemoration. The National Mausoleum, high in the hills above Port Drazon, embraced me with its stately presence. I was here for the annual Sovereign Memorial Commemoration, a ceremony honoring the former monarchs of Rizia. Arriving early before the ceremony began, I entrusted Hugo with overseeing the event, seeking a moment alone. Adorned with statues and inscriptions of monarchs from eras long past, the mausoleum stood witness to the enduring legacy of Rizia. In its hushed corridors, I sought solace, not as a king, but as a man burdened by the whispers of history. I had also come to honor the memory of my late wife, Lena, whose resting place could be found within these hallowed grounds as well. Fina, of course, was by my side. She was holding a bouquet. Feels like we were just here. I miss her so much. Your mother's presence is timeless, and it's only right that we revisit this place. Timeless, maybe, but sometimes it feels like the memories are slipping away, and revisiting it only makes the pain worse. It was my own pleading that steered us into that storm. We should have never set foot on that boat. You were a child. I was on that boat too, and I could have saved her life. It's hard not to wonder what if. Your mother's passing was a part of life. No, it could have been worse. I could have lost you as well. You were never in danger of losing me, Father. I can take care of myself. It wasn't long before we reached her mother's tomb. Vina set the bouquet in a marble vase next to the sarcophagus. I gathered these roses from the royal garden. They're the absolute best. We shared a quiet moment without words. I stared at the tomb, allowing memories of Lena and the boat accident to flood my mind. I was on the verge of becoming lost in thought when a voice called out to me from behind. Well, there you are. Well. Fancy meeting you here. She hadn't attended a sovereign memorial commemoration since father's passing. At my age, surprises are as rare as non-gray hairs. Don't act as though my presence is some extraordinary revelation. And for the record, I can still navigate these halls without much assistance, thank you very much. Vina, so good to see you. You're looking lovely as ever. You too. Vina went to her and they exchanged a brief embrace. We'll catch up later. I'm meeting Manus for a walk before the ceremony. He didn't feel like joining you here? I understand. He's quite busy now that he's majority speaker. Busy with what, dear? You know your father always called his party a zoo full of paper tigers. Her eyes swept across the room, coming to rest on Lena's grave. Forgive my lack of decorum. I should treat this day with the gravity it deserves. Gradually, she drew near, her eyes conveying unexpressed sentiment. She reached out and took Vina's hand, giving it a gentle squeeze. She was an extraordinary woman, your mother. I'd even go far as to say she was like a daughter to me. I wish I'd known her as well as you did. Lena won over every person she met, even prickly queen consorts. Ha! I confess, it took me a while to get over my prejudice about Rumburgian nobles. But it's true, I did grow to love her dearly. She smiled in fond recollection. I remembered the precise moments my feeling towards her changed. It was just after the civil war broke out in Velen. The two of you were at Palace Regina for dinner. Lena and I left for tea after you and your father got into another one of your rows. Up until then, I was adamant that Risha should accept as few Vejek refugees as possible. However, as we discussed the situation, she made such a convincing case for empathy and kindness that I was moved to tears. Lena had this way of seeing past politics, straight to the heart of the matter. And the next day, I persuaded Valero to open our borders. There were tears in Vina's eyes. That's beautiful. I had no idea. I never knew. So many lives were saved thanks to that conversation. If only she was around to talk to Victor Smolak now. I know she would have been proud of the person you've become, Vina. Despite Vina's attempt to conceal her emotions, a subtle quiver in her lips and a deep sigh betrayed her inner turmoil. Please excuse me. Vina hurried out of the room before anyone could respond. Losing a parent is hard, especially when they love you as much as Vina's mother loved her. Speaking of love, I know you have approved of Manus and Vina, and I support passion, but it might not be as digestible for the rest of the house. Either way, it needs to happen sooner rather than later for our family to secure its place on the throne. But I'm getting sidetracked. In case you're wondering, which I know you are, I'm here to finally pay your father a visit after finding this. My mother reached into her handbag and held up a weathered envelope. Take the envelope. I took the envelope from her. A love letter from your father. The first one he ever wrote. I want to honor him by giving it back. How very thoughtful. She took the envelope back. It was only gathering dust in my writing desk. Come, let's pay him a visit. My mother left the room, and I followed behind. We made our way down to the Great Hall, past the resting places of the great leaders and some not so great who came before me. It wasn't long before the light of the eternal flame, a single torch placed at the late king's sarcophagus, symbolizing a monarch's enduring reign, guided us the rest of the way. As we neared, my mother's pace slowed as if waves of memories passed upon her. If this is becoming too much for you, I'll understand. Your concern is appreciated, but I'll be fine. The flame's flickering glow cast dancing shadows on our path. We stopped just before we reached my father's stone encasing. There you are. We both fell silent. In the royal tradition, deceased kings were initially entombed here. However, upon the passing of the succeeding monarch, a solemn ritual was observed, relocating the late king to rest alongside their forebears. If you don't mind, I'd like to say a few words to your father. I'll give you some privacy. I gave her some space to allow for a moment between the two of them. She spoke to him in a hushed whisper, for longer than I expected. Whatever she had to say obviously meant something. When she was finished, she took out the love letter and placed it on the sarcophagus. I took this as my cue to return. May he rest in peace as his legacy lives on. For better or worse, his legacy will live on. A testament to how our actions reverberate through time. A reminder to choose our path with care. Yes, because our name carries weight, son. It's not just the actions, it's how you carry the responsibility that defines this legacy. My actions speak louder than any family name. I'll forge my path. Don't underestimate the power of a name. Your actions reflect not just on you, but as our family as a whole. On our family as a whole. Sometimes the most profound responsibilities are the ones we inherit, not by choice, but by destiny. I'll embrace whatever responsibilities destiny throws at me, be it triumphs or defeats, much like my father. Reclaiming Gilles will honor the memory by finishing what he started. Your words would have been a source of pride for him, as they are with me. However, I can't say the same towards your crusade to reform the monarchy. If you're not careful, I fear nothing will be left to salvage by the time you're through. My reforms are for the good of the country. If anything, our concessions will make our monarchy stronger. You and I seem to have different definitions of what it means to be strong. From my vantage point, I'd say the opposite. Taking such risks sets a dangerous precedence. Oh, so I have to tell her about it. I too hear whispers. Whispers that speak of a queen secretly practicing nesnurity under the guise of being a devout follower of Ruheshism. A sharp intake of breath escaped her lips as the unexpected revelation hit her. I don't know what you're talking about. Come on, mother. I know all about it. She held her ground, her eyes piercing through mine. However, before too much time passed, she yielded, signing in resignation. It's called faith for a reason. It's not something you casually discard. I refuse to apologize or renounce my beliefs to appease anyone's expectations. And I'll be damned if you think otherwise. The sound of her final words reverberated throughout the chamber. Look, I honestly don't care what you believe. I just wish you'd been forthright about it. My beliefs are mine to hold, and I don't owe an explanation. If you want honesty, know that there are some things about me that are not open for debate. Now, if you'll excuse me, I seek solitude by your father's side. Fine, but know this. Father's legacy and opinions of me are of no concern. However, I'm resolved to rectify his errors by achieving what he couldn't. Then good luck to you. You clearly know what's best. I don't remember leaving the mausoleum or sounds of shock and confusion from the crowd of people I passed waiting for the ceremony to begin. All I know is that I never looked back. Violent protests in Valancoris. Oh boy, that's bad. Sovereign Memorial Commemoration marred as King Romus Taurus abruptly departs, reason unknown. Well, this playthrough is going in a very, very interesting direction. Honestly, I don't even know what's gonna come next. I'm kind of nervous at the direction this is going because, like, if we reach a certain amount of instability, then we might have a huge problem on our hands. But I hope that we can push through it. I hope that the decisions I've made throughout this are gonna hold together and we'll be able to, if not get an excellent ending, and then, you know, hold things together and forge a good path of the country. But with that, I think I'll leave this episode here. Thank you all so much for watching. As always, it's a pleasure to be back. If you enjoyed this stream, I would really appreciate if you could leave a like and subscribe to the channel. It means a lot to me and I really appreciate it. Also, leave a comment if you're interested. I read all of them and I always really love hearing what you guys have to say, your thoughts on the series, your thoughts on what I can do to improve the streams, anything. I really appreciate reading your comments. So, I guess without further ado, thank you all again for watching. I always really appreciate it, and have a wonderful rest of your day. Take care. Bye.